Hello friends, welcome to Clinical Grand Rounds in Pulmonary Medicine series. In this, we will discuss a case of right upper lobe lung mass, how to approach this type of patient. This video I am making in Hindi and English both languages so it can reach to maximum people. So let's see our case. So she is Fulmati. This is imaginary name, not real name. So she is 51-year-old female. She presented with hemoptysis for 1 month, cough for 1 month, shortness of breath for 1 month. She was having generalized weakness and patient had lost somewhat weight, 3 to 4 kg over the span of 6 months. Patient doesn't have any fever, no chest pain, no addiction. But if you see this image carefully, patient is having exposure of chula smoker, or patient is having that pollution, chula smoking history. Okay, and this image is also not real. Okay, this is also imaginary image. So this middle-aged female came to you with you for hemoptysis and cough. Now what will you do? Okay, so as a pulmonologist we will do chest x-ray. So you have to see this x-ray very carefully, because if you see this x-ray carefully you can reach to a diagnosis, or you can have high suspicious what you are dealing with. Okay, so try to see this x-ray carefully. So in this x-ray you can see there is elevation of diaphragm. Can you appreciate? Okay, right side is normal, everything is there in left side. Okay, then if you see carefully you can appreciate there is blunting of CP angle. Okay, third thing is you cannot appreciate left heart border. Okay, fourth thing, there is haziness present on left upper zone and middle zone and somewhat lower zone. So four finding is there. One is elevation of diaphragm, second is CP angle, third is left heart border is not clear, and fourth is there is haziness in left upper lobe, upper zone, middle zone, and somewhat lower zone. With this X-ray finding, what do you think? What patient will have? So if you see carefully, let me erase this test. So if you see this X-ray carefully, can you appreciate any named sign in this X-ray? You have to see very clearly. So if you see carefully, you can appreciate there is hyperlucency just near to arch of aorta. This is arch of aorta. So if you see, you can appreciate there is hyperlucency. So this is Luftsichel sign. So Luftsichel sign present in left upper lobe collapse. It is due to when left lung is getting collapse, left upper lobe is getting collapse, it shifted to anterior side. So lower lobe, especially superior segment of lower lobe, it goes to empty space and causes hyperlucency. So you will appreciate hyperlucency just near the arch of aorta. This is Luftsichel sign. This is characteristic sign of left upper lobe lung collapse. So in this X-ray, if you see carefully, you will appreciate there is left upper lobe collapse. If I say left upper lobe collapse, it means lingula is also involved, because you are not able to make out left heart border. It means lingula is also involved. Okay, what next? So this is middle-aged female with left upper lobe collapse. What will you do next? Of course, we will do CT scan done in this, especially contrast CT. Unfortunately, this is non-contrast CT, but we have to get contrast CT done. So if you see CT scan, you can appreciate there is large heterogeneous mass in left upper lobe. If you coming down at the level of carina, this is level of carina. Okay, you can appreciate right main bronchus, left main bronchus. So if you see carefully, there is sharp border of left upper lobe. So this is left upper lobe collapse. This is not left lobe mass. Mass is there in upper segment. Here it is collapse, sharp collapse. Okay, you can appreciate there is small bronchi also. This is left upper lobe collapse. Another thing is there is pleural effusion. Coming down further, In lingula, you can see there's lingular collapse. Again, pleural effusion. Lingular collapse, pleural effusion. So now, what will you do next? So you have patient middle age female with left upper lobe collapse with pleural effusion. So whenever you find pleural effusion, you have to do diagnostic pleural effusion. Okay, diagnostic aspiration, sorry. Okay, will you do lung biopsy in this patient? Yes, we can do lung biopsy, but if you see CT scan, there is mass extreme upper lobe, which is very difficult to do biopsy. Okay, so biopsy we can do, but we will not do biopsy at this point of time. Right. Will you do thoracoscopy or pleural biopsy? At this point of time, no. Because first you have to see pleural effusion characteristics, whether it is transudative, whether it's exudative, how much ADA. Then only you can plan thoracoscopy. Okay. Bronchoscopy, yes, we have to do bronchoscopy. Why? Because there is collapse. Collapse in chest X-ray, collapse in CT scan. So whenever you find collapse, you have to rule out intrabronchial growth, intrabronchial mass. So you have to do bronchoscopy in this patient. PET scan, PET scan is not needed now. First, we will diagnose this patient, then we will think of PET scan. At this point of time, we have to do pleural aspiration diagnostic and we have to do bronchoscopy. So this is the bronchoscopy of this patient. You can see there is mass which is completely obstructing left upper lobe and also left lingula. So this is intrabronchial mass. Okay. So whenever you find intrabronchial mass, you have to take two biopsy at least. One biopsy for histopathology, another biopsy for microbiology, that is for gene expert and MGIT TB culture. Because in developing countries, especially in India, TB is more common in Indian population. So we have to rule out TB in every patient, those who are having lung mass, lung cavity, or anything. So you have to take biopsy, two separate sample, one for histopathology in formalin, one for gene expert in normal saline. Okay, pleural fluid analysis. So the if you see protein is 1.5, ADA just 5, very few cells, 50 cells only, and negative for malignancy. So this is transudative pleural effusion. So transudative pleural effusion you can expect it in this patient. Whenever there is collapse of upper lobe lingula, you can expect transudative pleural effusion. There is no surprise. Okay, so this patient middle is female having left upper lobe intrabronchial mass with transudative pleural effusion. Now, what will you do? Will you do therapeutic aspiration? Not needed at this point of time because there is minimal pleural effusion only. Okay, not needed this time. So our main focus is to get histopathology done. So this is the histopathology report. It shows squamous cell carcinoma. Okay, squamous cell carcinoma was expected because squamous cell carcinoma and small cell carcinoma, they are central opacities, intrabronchial growth, and adenocarcinoma is peripheral growth like pleural effusion. So this is case of squamous cell carcinoma. Now what will you do next? Now you have report of squamous cell carcinoma. How will you manage this patient? Okay, then we have to get EGFR, ALK and PDL1. And for staging purpose, we have to do PET scan. Now examiner will ask, why do you want to get EGFR in squamous cell carcinoma? Because this is more common in adenocarcinoma. So remember, EGFR is more common in Asian female who is non-smoker, especially in young or middle-aged female. So whenever you find Asian female non-smoker young patient, get EGFR done. If patient is lucky, it will come positive. But our patient is not so lucky. So in this patient, EGFR, ALK and PDL all were negative. In PET scan, we have to do staging. In PET scan, luckily, there was N0, M0. So the stage is T4 only. because tumor size was more than 7 centimeter. Okay. So if you see latest TNM guideline, if you find T4 lesion, it means stage is 3A. Okay. So now our patient, middle age female with left upper lobe intrabronchial mass, T4 size, stage 3B, sorry 3A. What is the management? What is the treatment? Okay. So according to NCCN guideline, surgery is possible up to 3A. So 3A surgery is possible. Okay. So we have to send reference to surgeon. We have to involve oncosurgeon or thoracic surgeon. Okay. He will decide whether tumor is resectable or not. Depends on patient condition, depends on surgeon skill, depends on tumor size, depends on many things. He has to decide whether tumor is resectable or not. If tumor is resectable in this patient T4 mass, if tumor is resectable, there are two options: whether surgeon want to do surgery now or whether patient surgeon want to do surgery later on. Okay, if tumor size is not so big, patient is very fit, surgeon can do surgery now. If tumor size is big, then surgeon will ask, okay, go to pulmonologist or medical oncology, get chemotherapy, get tumor size reduced, then come for surgery. So option 1, we have to give new adjuvant chemotherapy, 3 cycle. New adjuvant means prior to surgery. So prior to surgery, we have to give 3 cycle. With these 3 cycle, tumor size will shrink, then surgeon will operate very easily. This is option 1, new adjuvant chemotherapy, then surgery. Option 2 is tumor size is okay, small, I can operate now. So if surgeon is going to operate now, then we have to give adjuvant chemotherapy along with surgery. Okay. First do surgery, then chemotherapy. It's called adjuvant chemotherapy. So after surgery, if there is tumor margin free of cancer, tumor margin there is no cancer, means R0, resection is achieved completely, then no need for radiotherapy, just give chemotherapy, adjuvant chemotherapy. If there is R1 or R2, means tumor margin is not free of cancer, there is cancer remains on margin, then along with chemotherapy we have to give post operative radiotherapy. So this is how we have to manage this patient. Option 1, option 2. Option 1, give chemotherapy, then surgery. Option 2, surgery along with chemotherapy. If there is tumor margin still positive for malignancy, give along with chemotherapy, give radiotherapy also. These are two options. If tumor is not resectable or patient is not fit for surgery, then treatment option is concurrent chemoradiotherapy. You give chemotherapy along with radiotherapy. This is the treatment choice for 3A non-operable patient. But our patient was fit for surgery. Okay. But surgeon asks us to give chemotherapy, new adjuvant chemotherapy, then they will consider for surgery. So we have given new adjuvant chemotherapy in the form of carboplatin and gemcitabine every cycle in 3 weeks. We have given 3 cycles of chemotherapy, then we have sent for surgery. Okay, so this is how we have to approach this patient. We have to investigate this patient and we have to manage this patient. Okay, so take home points. Read chest X-ray carefully. So before going to complex case, you should know how to read chest X-ray. Okay, so if you know about Luftsichel sign, you can easily diagnose left upper lobe collapse. Pleural effusion doesn't mean stage 4 disease. So patient of collapse, they may have transitive pleural effusion. So effusion always doesn't mean advanced disease. Choose diagnostic test wisely, like bronchoscopy versus thoracoscopy versus USG guided biopsy, because time is precious for every malignant patient. for every patient. Okay, so don't waste time to do all procedure one by one, because it will increase the cost of patient, it will increase the risk of patient, because every procedure has complication. So choose wisely which procedure will give definitive diagnosis in early phase itself. Correct staging can increase survival of patient, because in this patient pleural effusion was there, but pleural effusion was not due to malignant. So correct staging can lead to better survival as compared to advanced disease. So with this, I thank you for patient listening. So if you like this video, please share with your friends. It may benefit in exam and daily clinical rounds. And if you like this video, please write in comment box, so I will make more videos. See you with another video. Thank you very much.